everyone, my name is Chloe and welcome to this week's vlog style wrap up. So it is like Tuesday, 5 o'clock. I'm just out here living my best life. It's like 80 degrees. I'm in my nightgown. We're in the backyard so nobody can see me, but the girls are just playing with the water table and we're just kind of hanging out for a little bit before dinner. So I'm getting on here to let you know that I finished Daughters of the Bride by Susan Mallory, and this is our book club pick for the Book Sisters. And book club was supposed to be this Saturday, but we had to switch things, so it's going to be the following Saturday, the 29th. So as you're watching this, if you're watching this before the 29th, you can still hop in and join us on the 29th on Sarah's channel to talk about this book. And I think there's going to be a lot to talk about, so I don't want to say a whole lot about it just because like I said, we are going to be having a full discussion. But this book is about three women, and they are all doing different things in preparation for their mother's wedding. So when they were young, their dad died and now the mom is getting remarried. But I would call this a women's fiction. It's like 90% about the three girls. So there's Rachel, who is the oldest. Rachel was married. She's divorced now. She's got a son. And her ex-husband is still in her life, but he cheated, and so they ended the relationship. And he's like they're trying to figure out co-parenting, and she's just like never quite gotten over him. So she's the most like stereotypical of a middle-aged woman. She kind of struggles with her body image. I found her really relatable and overall pretty good. I enjoyed her story quite a bit. Then the middle daughter is Sienna, and I think is Sienna, or maybe Sierra, I can't remember, but I think she was one that I felt was a little underdeveloped. She works for like a women's shelter type situation, and she has been engaged 3 times. She gets engaged for the 3rd time during this book, and each time she has ended the engagement for different reasons. And she definitely has some insecurities about that, but it also is like, well, why do you keep saying yes? Like, are you saying yes just to be kind and then you realize it's not a good fit? Or like, I just didn't feel like I really knew her as well as I knew the other 2 sisters. So she gets engaged to this guy who is like perfect on paper, but is he perfect for her? Read the book to find out. So then our youngest is Courtney, and Courtney was by far my favorite. She is like 6 foot tall, super clumsy, and so she like earns this reputation within her family, and they call things like pulling a Courtney. And she was the youngest, like I said. And so when her dad died, her mom just kind of like was not able to function very well as a parent. And so she has a learning disability that her mom just like didn't pay attention to, and so that really set her behind. And so now she is a maid in a hotel for this woman who's kind of like a second mother to her, named Joyce. And she really has just felt like limited, like she can't do things because she's just never had anybody like care or invest in her. And so she has a couple secrets that she's keeping from her family, and one of them, I was so annoyed when her family found out about it, because one of my most despised things is when people get mad that people choose to keep a secret that has nothing to do with you. Like, people have a right to privacy and they can share what they want about their lives, and they don't have to tell you everything, and it's not your right to know everything. So I guess I could see how they'd be a little hurt that she chose not to tell them, but like being mad about it, I don't understand. And I was like, you guys all stink. And Courtney, you guys, I laughed out loud multiple times in her relationship with Quinn, because their banter is so funny, and she was so quick-witted, and she was hilarious. I loved her. She was my favorite story. I really loved seeing her growth, and overall, like, I loved her. And the mom, she is the most minor character in this book, I would say, and that is a good thing, because she was yucky. I did not like her. I didn't like the way she treated her kids. I couldn't get on board with her. So, yeah, the book is about all of them, and I give it 4 stars, maybe more like a 3.5, but I'm calling it 4 because I'm in such a, like, stingy mood about things that I don't know if it's just my mood that I'm, like, not perfect, but, yeah, 4 stars, pretty good. Join us on Saturday the 29th on Sarah's channel, and we'll talk more about it. So that is what I have finished. Just kind of like, it seems like everybody on booktube is kind of talking about feeling slumpy, and I don't know if it's the weather being nicer, if it's just a lot going on in life or what, but even audiobooks, I'm like, I don't know if I want to put that much mental energy into things. So I am doing it when it works, and so far so good. This week I'm picked up something that I'm really liking, so I will check in when I finish it and let you know. Hopefully I still like it, and it'll be kind of what pulls me out of it and remotivates me. Hey everyone, it is the next day, and I'm actually just I just love Sonic, if you guys can tell, and I got us happy hour drinks because it's almost 4, kids are sleeping, and so I got me and Jeremy some happy hour drinks and went to Target. I had done a pickup order and went to the bank, just kind of ran some errands because I laid down to nap, and I like woke up and thought I had napped, and it was like 20 minutes later, and so whatever, I guess I'm good. And so I got up and have been doing all these errands. But while I've been doing these errands, I've been having one earbud in, and I finished The Trophy Life by Leah Geller. And I have not written my review or anything. I literally just finished, but I think I'll give it like 3.5 stars. This is about a woman. I don't even know if I told you that's what I was going to pick up, but this is about a woman. Her husband like is super wealthy, so she just lives this life of luxury. She has a nanny, she has a cook, they've got like a baby girl, and she doesn't do anything. Like, she's just a trophy wife, you know, not to say just a trophy wife, but she like has no ambition, nothing going on. She's kind of just living this life of luxury. And then her husband disappears, and his best friend is like, hey, don't call the cops, like, he's safe, but you've got to go. And she's like, what? And so she has to go from California to New York to this boys' school, like boys' boarding house school, and teach middle school. And like, she had previously taught preschool, and so she's like, I have no experience with this. These are all like somewhat troubled youth, and so she's like, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. So she goes, and it's her just kind of trying to figure life out for herself and for her daughter. And like I said, they've had a private chef, they've had all these things, and so she discovers like the baby puffs, like cereal puffs and stuff that are so good, and she like lives off those. And I just think that's funny because I do really like them too. And I don't know, it was funny, and I really liked seeing her embrace her role as a teacher, because as a former teacher, it's like you really love those stories of like touching kids who just need, like, they're tough kids and they just need somebody to be kind and compassionate, and that's kind of what she was for them. So I really liked that. The whole, like, her husband had embezzled more or less, and so he was on the run for that, and the whole like story around that was kind of just okay for me. I was glad the way it ended. I was happy about that. And overall it was just like, it started off really intriguing, but then kind of just got meh for me. So 3 or 3.5, not bad. So yeah, I don't know what I'll pick up next, but like, I finished that book in a day, so that feels really good. Like, I'm feeling like, let's get out of this slump a little bit and just pick up a little more like of the zest for reading that I normally have. So hopefully we're there. So I will check in next time I finish something.
It's Saturday, and I am just going to get on and tell you about this book. This is A False Sense of Well-Being by Jeanette Brazelton. So this is one of the books from my lowest rated books on my TBR try chapter tag. And you guys, I have been reading this for like weeks, and it's not because it was terrible, but it wasn't great. So this was the one I was most interested in, so that makes me really nervous about reading the other ones. But this one definitely paints a bad picture of marriage. So this woman is having these fantasies of killing her husband, or of her husband like freakishly dying. And then her best friend is like, hey, I'm having an affair. Will you help me cover it up? So that's going on. And so then she decides to go back to her family home, like where her parents are and that kind of stuff. And her sister is really flighty, lives with her parents, and like has a weird off and on relationship with her husband. Like, the whole picture of marriage is weird. Our main character is a therapist, and she is working with this old woman who is accused of killing her husband, and like, she'll admit to it and that kind of stuff. So like, it's really weird. I mean, that part is really weird. The plot is also pretty slow and pretty like outlandish, I would say. Like, her dad owns a bar, and there's like a headless stuffed duck that she rescues, and like, this book was just bizarre. So I haven't written my review. I'm not sure what I'm going to rate it. Probably like 2.5. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but yeah. And like, the resolution was kind of just like, I don't know. So definitely, I see why the ratings are low on this one. So That's all I finished. I'm about to finish Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane, but I have not yet, and so I will check in when I do one. It is Saturday, later in the day. It's like 4 o'clock, just at the end of nap time. I need to go get the kids, but during nap time, I finished Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane, and it says there's more than one way to end a marriage, and I don't know how I feel about this, you guys. I thought it would, like, I love the ending. The ending was very twisty. There was a lot going on. And like all the reviews I read though of like friends and stuff, they loved this book, and like 4.5 stars. And there's a couple 3 stars mixed in there, but I think I'm gonna be a 3 star because the ending was good, and like it was good. The ending was good and twisty. But the whole rest of the book, the other 400 pages, were so slow, you guys. So this is about a woman who killed her husband. She finds something out about her husband and she kills him. So then she is shocked when his body is not where she put it and he's missing. So she doesn't know, is he actually alive? Is he dead? She's getting these notes and things. So she's like, how did he live through this? Like, how did he escape? And so you're really wanting to know like what happened. But the plot is so slow that I was like, all right, I don't even care. And then the end happened, and the end is really fast, really twisty. But the 400 pages before were so slow. So I don't know. I think I'm going to give this 3 stars. This is a debut. Darby Kane, I know, is a pen name, but it's a debut. And so I think this author is definitely promising. I will definitely read more from her. But this one just kind of needed more in the middle. So there's a fair amount of characters, and there is a little bit of the police procedural element because they are trying to figure out like what happened to this guy. There's also a bunch of other murders, like of young women that are maybe or maybe not related. So they're trying to figure that out. But this didn't feel like too heavy police procedural by any means. So this one also has a little bit of a podcast element because there is a podcast about these, like all these women who are missing because they believe it's a serial killer. So there's a podcast about that. And I really wish, especially on audio, that it was more produced than it was, but it was just okay. So that is my thoughts on this. I probably will not finish anything before tomorrow, and I really like to have these up for Monday. So I think I'm going to end this vlog style wrap up here, and just kind of let it go with that. I think tomorrow is going to be kind of a busy day around here, so probably won't get a lot of reading done, so we'll just stop there. So thank you so much for watching. If you've read any of these, let me know, and we'll talk to you in the next one.
Okay, y'all, I lied. I'm back. It's Sunday, and I read something last night that, you guys, I don't want to say it pulled me out of my slump, but it might have pulled me out of my slump because it was so good. So I read the first in the Angels trilogy by Lurleen McDaniel, which is Angels Watching Over Me. And this is a novella. If you haven't heard of Lurleen McDaniel, she writes these like really intense, like emotional YA books that always like make you cry, and they're always so good. And so this one I'm giving 4.5 stars. This is about a girl named Leah. She goes and drops her mom and her new stepdad off at the airport. They're going to Japan for their honeymoon. This is dad number 5. Mom has like left her alone since she was like 6. And so she is a teenager now, perfectly capable of taking care of herself. But something happens to her finger, and her finger really starts to hurt. And so she goes to like the hospital, I guess, because her new stepdad has a connection there. So she goes, and they admit her into the hospital. And so she's like, well, maybe they're just like trying to make it so I'm not staying on this farmstead, because the parents now live on this farmstead by myself. And so she's in this hospital, and she gets a roommate named Rebecca. Rebecca is a 5-year-old little girl. She is Amish, and she is just so sweet, but so terrified because her parents are going to leave her overnight, and so, because they have to go back to do chores and take care of the other kids and all of that kind of stuff. So she's terrified. So Leah's like, hey, let's be friends. And she really like takes this little Rebecca under her wing. And so it's their friendship. And then the next day, Rebecca's brother and sister come, and they're going to be the ones that like hang out with her during the day so the mom and dad can work and take care of all the other kids. And so the brother and sister come, and like the 4 of them just kind of create a friendship or a relationship. She has like a romance with the brother, but it's obviously forbidden because he's Amish and she is not in the Amish community. But The discussion of faith is really good in this book. I would say it's a Christian fiction, but it's definitely not got like scripture, and it's just more of like general faith and angels and that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't say this will turn you off if you're not into that, but I love these kind of books. I love medical dramas, and this one, it takes place entirely in the hospital. And so if that is like a trigger for you, you may not like this one, but I love that. And I just like thought the pediatric ward was so cool. She like makes friends with this one nurse, and then she's got this nice nurse that comes with her, and like the nurses are just so sweet. And I really just love these books. They're very like wholesome and intense, both like wholesome and emotional. And this one was like 175 pages. So I read it all last night, not a big deal. And it, like I said, I think it kind of pulled me out of my slump because now I'm like really motivated. And the reason I'm giving it 4.5 instead of 5 is because I despise the absentee parent trope in YA. And in this one, like, we know where her parents are, and like this girl is in the hospital for a long time, and they're like, cool, I'm just gonna stay in Japan, I'll see you on Thursday. And they don't come back until like the very end. And so as a mother, I'm like, I can't empathize with that, I can't understand that. And I really don't like that trope. The angel part is a little bit hokey, but that's kind of what you expect with Lurley McDaniel. It's a little cheesy, but overall really good and emotional. So now I'm really done with this vlog. I have started something, but I know I'm not going to finish it today. So I will see you next week. Thank you for watching this vlog style wrap up. And let me know, did you ever read Lurley McDaniel? This fulfills my challenge of reading a book I should have read in high school for the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. And I feel like this is something I would have loved in high school. So I can't wait to read the other 2 in the trilogy. And I just loved it. So that's it. Hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you in the next one.